So if you can consistently keep bringing in people, eventually you'll actually find some good people. Now the next segment is actually retail. Now that you can make some serious money. We've got a guy called Paul Tonkin. He earns about £3,000 every 4 weeks. So if you mark yourself out of 10 on being how good you retail from a 1 to a 10, if you're new, just mark yourself down as sort of a 1. And if you do £500 a period, a 3. You do £1,000 a period, a 4. If you do £2,000 a period, a 5. Paul Tonkin will give him 8. And you might think that's a little bit hard, but the record in Clean Easy, by doing catalogues and party plan, there's a couple in Northern Ireland did about £23,000 I think in one period running up to Christmas, and they got a bonus check just off that alone of about £10,500. So they're a 10 till somebody actually beats that record. So the next one is how teachable you actually are. Now this is where teachers can be actually fantastic in this business. Obviously I had no training whatsoever of being a teacher because I came from a shipyard background, not used to anything like that. But teachers usually have a lot more patience because it's funny that some people don't listen a lot. They like to do it their way. Well, I remember at school you were actually taught never to cheat. There was always somebody in the class who was really clever and you could actually go and get all the answers off him, but you were told not to cheat. Well, in this business, what you want to do is cheat. Find out what the successful people are actually doing and copy them exactly to the T what they're doing. Because if they're successful, all you've got to do is copy what they do. So how teachable are you? If you're sort of new and you've never got involved in 1 or a 2, if you're one of these people that like to try it their way first or half try it, a 4 or a 5, if you follow it to a T, then an 8 or a 9, and if you could stand at the front and do a training in front of people, that's a 10. Because a little secret, the person really makes a big money is the person at the front holding the pen. Because he's decided he's become a teacher and he's going to teach people how to do it. Now the next segment is tools. Going back to my profession as an engineer in the shipyards, in my first week at work, we're all given a toolkit. But we weren't given it for free. We had to take a small percentage out of our wages for maybe 2 years, I think, before that toolkit was paid for. Now what if I'd said to the guy who had employed us, oh well I don't want a toolkit. Again, that would have been the end of the job. So you've got to learn your tools of your trade, and our tools are getting bigger and better all the time. It's a lot of it to do with technology now and learning the skills to do with that, which I'll speak a little bit more in a different segment. So if you're new and you don't know any tools at the minute, you obviously might think, well, catalogues is a tool because that makes money straight away. And then we're sponsoring DVDs, which you can get people to join by giving them a DVD, or you can email a link now to let them have a look at a DVD, or even like this, let them plug into a webinar to see actually how it all does work. So where do you rate yourself on the tools? If you're not quite sure about them, a 2 or a 3, you know most of the tools are 4 or a 5. If you could do a training on the best tools that you actually need, a 6 or a 7. And if you could comfortable learning and picking up the new tools as they're coming out, a 10. Now the next one is goals. If you haven't seen Abigail Corcup, who won the Executive Challenge Cup, she did the most amazing goal setting training. But because she had set goals in place last year, that is the reason she won. If she hadn't had them goals in place, it wouldn't have happened. There's a football match going on at the minute between Holland and Germany. Holland's getting beat 2-0, but if they took them goalposts away, then nobody could score. The crowd wouldn't cheer, there would be no excitement because nobody would know what was going to happen at the end of it. There would be no result. So you've got to have a goal to go for. Whether it's in football, it's the one that scores the most goals at the other end, or in ours it can be all kinds of different things. And a lot of people actually join Clean Easy just to make a little bit extra money, maybe an extra £300 or £400 a month, just to cover some credit card bills or all kinds of different reasons. But that's a little goal to go for. Once you hit your first one, then you can move on to your next goal. And then you can set bigger goals. So you can have short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals, and especially if you could stand at the front and do a goal-setting training. So all I'll just quickly talk about is which way you see yourself at the minute. If you didn't know anything about goal setting, a 1 or a 2, you've started just in to make a little bit of money because you've got some little goals, there's a 3 or a 4. If you start to see there's a little bit more to this than just making a few £100 a month, you maybe possibly make thousands of pounds a month. Because that's what happened to me. I could see when I joined I could make £1,000 a month, dead easy, even though Jimmy Nicholson at the time was making £12,000 a month. But I thought that's quite unrealistic, that kind of money. But once you get to £1,000, you actually can see more, so you can see £2,000. And then it's up to you actually how far you actually go with that. So it's the same way your goals are at the minute. If you've got them wrote down, you know exactly what you're doing, put that down as an 8. And if you could stand at the front of the room and do a training on goal setting, mark yourself down as a 10. Now the next one is books and CDs, like tapes, any way you can actually learn, maybe even YouTube videos now, because there's a lot of training there on YouTube. You can watch different trainers and different training tips. So what I suggest you do is to learn as much as you can, because there's a little saying, the more you learn, the more you earn. Now when I left school, I never read a book right the way up till I got involved in Clean Easy, because I hated school. As Andy said, I was dyslexic, so I was put in the backward classes at school. Imagine that, being put back a year at school because I didn't think you were very bright. Well, it's funny, just because you can't spell the words around the right way, wrong way or the right way, doesn't make you a failure. It can sometimes make you more determined. And there's a list of multi-millionaires who are all dyslexic. You know, because sometimes they're thinking outside the box or way ahead of what's going on. So don't be put off if somebody can't read or write in the right way. It doesn't matter. That's just not important whatsoever. Now, what you've got to suggest here is which books you read. Now, we'll have a recommended list of reading which people will give you to read. But start off with some easy ones like the basics, the 45-second presentation. It's a very easy book to read, but it gets you to grasp how the whole network marketing works. And even if somebody's not very good at reading, they can usually read that in about sort of half an hour. And then they can understand a little bit more about it. But that gives them a taste of why they should be reading books. And once they realise from virtually every book you read, you're going to learn something new and get that 6 inches between your ears right, it's important that you actually do that. So where are you up to on your personal development program? Personally, I like listening to CDs more than reading books. If I'm on a flight somewhere, that's where I can sort of really get stuck into a book. But in the car, there's always training CDs going all the time that you can sort of pick up tips. Because when you're actually sort of learning something, it doesn't always sink in the first time, so you've got to listen to it over and over again. So if you've never read any books since leaving school, mark yourself down as a 1 or a 2. If you've just started reading the sort of first books that's been recommended, a 3 or a 4. If you've read quite a few books, a 4 or a 5. And if you're sort of always hungry for more information, an 8 or a 9. And a 10 if you could stand at the front and do a personal development training on like which books you could actually read and learn from. Now the next one is the sort of big one that's sort of changing so much at the minute. It's technology. Technology is going like a train at the minute. Things are changing so fast, it's hard to keep up with them. But now you cannot be a dinosaur. You've got to use the new stuff. Now there's a lot of people out there saying like old school networkers don't know what they're doing. Well, I'll tell you what, there's one here that doesn't know what they're doing, but the thing is, the old school stuff still works. Your warm mark is still the best way to actually sort of get somebody to join. You know, pick up the old telephone and actually phone them and say, hey, I've come across something really exciting, I'd love your opinion, and then either pop round to see them, send them a DVD or watch the DVD online. You'll never beat that warm market bit, but on the other side, there's technology is a massive way to get lots and lots of leads fast. And there's all kinds of different ways to do that. And there's all kinds of different trainings on using contact managers, using YouTube video, using blogs, and all kinds of different things. And I've got a little book called How to Follow Up Your Way to Fortune. You can get that from most of our web shops, but there's a lot of little trainings in there. How to use Twitter, how to use Facebook, how to use blogs, how to use all YouTube videos, and sharing that stuff as well, because the more you sort of get your little fishing rods out there as well with that, every now and again you just pick up somebody who wants to join, especially once you get them into your list of the contact managers. You can keep drip feeding them over and over and over again. Now when I joined, I did this by accident with mailing people copies of my check, because so many people said to me Clean Easy wouldn't work. I got really angry and just said, all right, I'm going to prove you wrong. So every month I used to send them a copy of a check. Now with technology, you can actually do that every day, and it's much faster. So the biggest mistake I made with the technology was only sending out emails once a month. If you put an advert on the telly, you don't have it on once a month, it's on all the time. So physically you could send emails 2-3 times a day, and they'd start getting used to your email coming in, and eventually they'll actually start reading it. So where are you up to on technology? Well, you've just not got your head around it yet as a 1 or a 2. You're quite good on it, a 3 or a 4. Or you're getting there and you're open to learn, a 8 or a 9. Or if you think you're right up there and you grasp anything new, a 10. Now watch out for people that's ripping people off by charging ridiculous amounts of money on these email training courses and e-books, and way over the price. If you want to learn something new, and this is a big tip, get your pen out for this one, go to YouTube and they've got a search bar, like a search bar, and just type in there what you want to know. And there's a 99% chance somebody's done a little video explaining what it is. And there's a good chance it'll be one of mine if it's related to our kind of business, because I've got lots of little videos up there. So if you go and find my YouTube channel, there's lots of stuff floating about in that. So just mark where you're up to on that one. It's an important one because that's going to be the future. Technology is going to stop, not going to stop, it's just going to get better. Now the next one's time. How do you manage your time? I'm sure a lot of people who've spoke to people on the phone who haven't got a job, they're unemployed, and they'll come back, well, I haven't got time to do clean easy. Yet you'll find somebody who's very busy, you know, a very successful businessman, when they sometimes want even more money, you know, so they're the kind of people you want, and they'll find the time. So how's your time management? So mark that on a 1 to 10. If it's really sort of poor at the minute and you find you're wasting a lot of time, a 1 or a 2. If you're quite good with your time management, 4 or a 5. If you've got your time management absolutely perfect, an 8 or a 9. And if you could stand in the front and do a time manager training, actually mark it down as a 10. Now the next one's probably the most important one, is the attitude. Because if you haven't got a good attitude, you're going nowhere. If you've got stinking thinking, you're going to absolutely haven't got a chance. Now one thing I've got, I may be dyslexic, but I've got a positive attitude. I always look for the positive side of everything. I never look for the negative side of it. So are you like that at the minute? You're looking for something to go wrong rather than something to go right. So mark yourself down with the attitude, whether you haven't thought about attitude at the minute, you're a 1 or a 2. You're one of these people that's glass is half full or half empty and right in the middle. Or you've got a cracking personality, you're always positive, that's an 8. And at the 10, if you could stand at the front and do an attitude training. Now some great books on that. Attitude is Everything is a great one. And you can really feed your mind with some good attitude stuff to sort that out. Because unfortunately out there in the real world, it's a negative world. The news is, you never see a positive news. There's always negative stuff on the news. So it's our job to just feed ourselves with much positive stuff, that when the negative people come, they'll just bounce off us. Now the next one is ITS voicemail. We used to call it ITS, it's now Easy Reach. And basically that's a way of communicating with a large group of people. Now I'll show you some figures after this, once we finish the wheel in a second. But ITS is probably a better way than get used to it, because ITS standard for Interactive Training System. Now that means actually sending messages back and forwards between each other, sharing stories. Now we do this on email loops as well, but to be quite honest, the voice is more powerful than actually email. When you hear that people's tone of voice when they've done something fantastic's happened, it means a lot more than actually just wrote down. So make sure you're connected to that, get your team connected to it, and all the people who maybe joined on the break free, make sure you actually forward that on to them, so they actually get their messages, because their messages could be the difference between keeping them in the first few weeks till they actually grasp the bigger picture of it. So just mark where you're up to that. If you're not connected to the voicemail, Easy Reach with Clean Easy, get connected. So mark yourself down as a 1 or 2 if you're not connected. If you're in the middle, you're on it, but you don't listen to it every day, a 4 or a 5. If you're on it every day, an 8. And if you're actually sending out training and tips to your team, and they do a training on voicemail, mark yourself down as a 10. Now what I want you to do is to join the dots. So I'll just click them on here. If anybody's took notes, which you should have, you're going to see, this might take a while to click through. Well, you're going to see you're going to have dots at different spaces on the graph if you go around the circle. And if you remember when I started, I was talking about a 5-year success wheel. So you're not going to pick everything up straight away. It's going to be a while before you learn how everything actually does work. But the longer in it, the better, and the more you learn. So that's what it might look like as an example. You also probably look a little bit similar to that. But if you had to drive your car tonight and your wheel was like that, it wouldn't be a very successful wheel. So in this example, the teachable bit's not very good. So if you're doing this training in a sizzle, where there's a group of people, you can see where the weaknesses are, and maybe you could just point them in the direction of a training CD or a book to read, which is going to improve their skill. Now over the next 5 years, if you work on this, your weaknesses and your strengths, and you get better, then you can actually earn a fortune. But not just you, you've got to teach them skills to your team. Remember when I said it's not just about sponsoring people, it's actually teaching them to do all these little skills. And the more competent they get with these skills, then the bigger business they're going to build, and make them an absolute fortune, and then you get a small percentage of that. So just some figures on that. This is just an example of contracts, the percentage of people who actually stayed in, just connected with the voicemail system. And the people who stayed in is much higher when they're connected to a proper system, part of a team, part of a group. There's nobody can be successful in Clean Easy by yourself. You've got to become a team player, and you've got to be together. And the more synergy, the more people connected to everything, then the faster everybody's actually business will grow. So make sure you get as many people connected to the Easy Reach system, your email loops, any loop where you can get people picking up positive information and tips. I've got a fan page if you find me on Facebook. I'm always sending tips and stories down there. We'll send some fantastic pictures of this new skincare product. If you've never tried this yet, let's get the thing here, the Easy Spa, it's amazing. And John Hawkes, what some people have been doing is just putting it on the hand here. And John Hawkes has been doing that for about 10 or 15 days. And John's about 75, 76 now. I'm not kidding, when you see John the next time, one hand looks 30 years younger than the other. It's just amazing. So if you imagine you're showing that on the doorstep to your customers, that's going to give you a fantastic repeat business. So just to wrap up some of the lifestyle things that sort of happened to me with Clean Easy, I've never had a job for nearly 20 years now, because I never have a Monday morning feeling. I just wake up and I've got the freedom to do what I like. And basically, last March, there was a big meeting in Clean Easy, and wanted us to go down to Akron, and I said to Jamie, Jamie, I'm not coming. It's my mum's 90th birthday, and basically that's more important than going to a Clean Easy meeting. And if you had a conventional job, it just wouldn't happen, because my mum's in a care home now, and you know what? I'm just probably one of the only people that ever come to see their parents. You know, there's a lady in there from Manchester, and her son comes to see her every 3 months, if she's lucky. And the old people in them homes just wait. They're sitting at the window, hoping that one of their family would actually sort of come round to see them. So that bit's magic for me, that I've got the freedom to go and see my mum every possible day I want to. Also some other pictures popping up. This is where we live. I might show you at the end, just out the window. So it's getting a little bit dark up here. But this is the sort of what our house looks like. It's like on 1, 2, 3, 4 floors. We've got a balcony at the back and the back at the front. Well, that doesn't look too good. It just could be in any street in any part of the world. Well, this is a bit that makes a difference, because this is our view out the window. And if you go into Google and put time out webcam, you'll actually see that view. And it's fantastic to watch the sun come up. You know, it's just such a wonderful feeling to be able to do that. And as a kid I used to do a lot of surfing, so that's just right at down on the beach, right outside the window there. And basically I'll be on the beach after this with the dog, and there's nobody there. It's virtually my own beach, you know. It's very, very quiet, especially sort of late at night, and it's just fantastic to have the freedom to just go down there. But we haven't just got one house. The house we're in at the minute's worth about £1 million. This one is set in 30 acres of land out in Northumberland. and basically it's got 6 bedrooms upstairs, it's got a big lake, stables, and what I like about it more than anything else that I didn't realise at the time, it's got no light pollution at all. So at night, all the windows have got Velux windows above, and you can just sit and watch some fantastic stars and shooting stars go by. And the stars must be at least 50 times more stars there than it is in the city where all the light pollution is. In the cars, we've had 3 brand new Porsches. How many people do you know it's had 3 brand new Porsches in a normal job? Well, that's what you can have with Clean Easy. And we didn't get them 3, we bought them. Because the pay plan structure, we were past all the levels to get the cars. Now you can actually get all these cars for free by just building a business and helping people. And we've just changed. We're finished with the, well, we've still got the Porsche outside at the minute, but after 3 Porsches, we're changing to a Range Rover Sport. We just went in the other day and ordered a white one with white cream leather, big alloy wheels. But some people might say, well, hang on a minute, anybody could go in a showroom and take a picture. But nobody could take a speed camera picture. There's Buddy getting caught for speeding, doing 35 in the Porsche, which I think is disgrace to get caught for speeding at 35 miles an hour. But that just proves it's not in the showroom. It's police evidence, and there's Bonnie with a man driving the car. Well, over skiing holders, don't do the surfing anymore, just into this sort of winter sports. It's funny how your goals change. When I first started Clean Easy, I was just surfing mad. That's all I would talk about apart from Clean Easy. But now it's skiing. Just love to go out in a crisp, cool air, beautiful, clear skies in the winter when it's all miserable back in the UK. And this is Zermatt, one of my favourite places that we actually go to. There's Bonnie when we went to Canada skiing, getting attacked by one of the bears at the airport. And this is our income from 2000 to 2008. Now remember, we started in 92, and it's 2012 now, so the income must be well over 5 million, coming to sort of 6 million, I guess. I haven't actually counted it all up. I suppose Clean Easy could tell you exactly what it is. But this is what I suggest you do. I don't believe we're a success yet, because I've had a vision of Clean Easy being a £1 billion company. And it's funny, we had a leaders meeting down in Birmingham yesterday, and the company's into this big vision now. And you can mathematically prove how easy it is, because we've got so much potential in the UK. We've got Ireland, we've got Netherlands, we've got Germany, we've got other countries will come on stream as well. And guess what? In every single country, people are actually hurting. So you just get stuck in and build yourself a massive business. I'm just going to hand you back to Andy. Just before I do, I'd like to thank Andy for putting this on for everybody. You know, he doesn't need to. It's a lot of hard work for him to do that. So next time you see him in Birmingham, buy him a pint. So thanks very much, have a great evening, and I'll speak to you all soon.